Hello Internet, welcome back to RimWorld. Got a little bit of the hiccups here, so hopefully that's not an issue. In the last episode, we got our multi-analyzer up and running, which will allow us to research a lot more stuff. Let me get closer to my desk here. Allow us to research a lot more stuff, including the fabrication, which will let us make components. And then, of course, we want bionics and advanced fabrication because we're going to be needing advanced components as well, or whatever they are called. So that's probably the highlight. We got the multi-orbital beacon up and running, as well as the comm console. We're continually mining out new space, so we may expand the colony a little bit further, people-wise. And we're continuing to churn through questions in my random question generator, which I really like because I love to talk about myself because I am very self-centered. No, just because it's a lot easier than trying to come up with anecdotes on my own, and because I believe that part of YouTube is creating content for a singular game and then expanding on that. A lot of Let's Play type gamers play the same game for thousands of hours, do news about it, and for me that's Cataclysm. I do the update show, I do the enemy spotlight series, and I previously did Let's Plays of Cataclysm and will be returning to that probably in the near future. But I also want to be a variety channel. That's why I'm playing RimWorld. That's why I'm playing This Is the Police, because I want to be more of a variety channel. And for those kind of channels, it's less about obsessing over one particular game, and it's more about me. It's more about, if you like me, you're going to come back no matter what game I'm playing because you like me as an individual, as the content creator, rather than saying, oh, I like this game, right? And so part of talking about all these questions and making conversation is about you getting to know me so that in the future, if I start playing, I don't know, some other game, you'll say, I really like RimWorld, but I also like this guy enough that I'll come back even if he's playing something else. So, yeah, that's more or less how I feel about it. Hopefully you don't, that doesn't bother you. I know some people don't like hearing about the behind-the-scenes YouTube stuff. They only care about the content, but yeah, Pixie, what you doing? Melting slag. Okay, I mean, we don't necessarily need steel anymore, so I don't think we really need you to be doing that. We're going to go ahead and suspend this order and get her doing some other things. We have a lot of bricks as well, so I don't think we need that going anymore. Suspend this. Animals need food. We will unforbid the kibble making, and we will allow them outside. I don't think we let them outside. We had them restricted to the safe area. So we'll go ahead. The Muffalos go to Area 1. Chubbs McKenzie. Great name, by the way. We did sell our calves, which I'm sure some people will be upset about, but we just did not need more Muffalo. We're getting a lot of wool coming in. We're getting milk from them every day. And they were both male. So if we get calves that are female, we will likely keep them for their milk. More than anything, we only need one male. The only reason we tamed a male is so that we could breed them. So we really don't need more males because that one male, of course, can breed a large stock of animals. And we probably should put something down here, but I think that being dark is not a big deal. Go ahead and throw doors on this while I'm thinking about it. Structure, slate door, bam. This whole mountain is slate, more or less, so we're going to continue doing slate. I think we can now extend our power further down. And we can set up lights, furniture. Standing lamps, we'll plop those in the middle of the room. That way they have light to work by. They're not frustrated by being in the dark because it's already going to be an ugly environment. So what we'll do is zoom in here and we'll select all the slate and get that hauled out of there as well, which will put that in our dumping pile. Great. Table, yep. Interrupted sleep, yep. We're building the fabricate. Yes, okay. So we're doing good. Let's get another question because this is a little bit boring until something happens. Do you get along with your parents? My father I have not seen in probably about a decade. He's a good man. So basically my parents were teenagers when I was born. My mom was 15. My dad was 17. And before I was born, they kind of had gone their separate ways. My father, I don't know if it was my mother that kept me from seeing him or why I never met him. I don't think I met him until I was probably 13 or 14. And by then he had remarried and he had 2 other children. So he had a life of his own. I never felt like a part of that. I used to see him every year, once or twice a year, but I haven't seen him in about a decade. Just he hasn't reached out. I haven't reached out. It's not a big deal. I don't hold a lot of ill will towards my father. You know, you blame the one that stays, right? Classically, with kids who parents get divorced or whatever, they break up, split up, whatever. They, you tend to blame the parent who stays behind because the one who's not there is not causing you problems, so to speak. So my father, I have no real ill will towards my father. I do wish I had more of a dad growing up, but I'm not mad at him. You know, he has his own life, and that's that. My mother, on the other hand, was the one that stayed, at least for several more years, up until I was, I don't know, she probably left, I was 11 or so, and she left me, what am I doing? Floors, smooth surface. We're going to smooth everything at this point because they're not really doing anything else, so we can get them doing this, which will increase the beauty of the area and make everybody a little bit happier. We can smooth all of that, that's fine. And we can smooth basically all of this, which will be a lot of work, but it will keep them busy and doing something. We can smooth this as well, I think. So that's a lot of work that will keep those crafters busy. Pixie will do that as well because she has nothing else really to do since she's not crafting anything. And yep, so that'll keep them busy. So yeah, my mom, it's a little bit more ill-willy. She put me in a situation when I was a kid to be abused by a man who was just a monster. And so it's hard for me not to view her as the person who let me get abused repeatedly, because she let that happen. She watched it happen and she did not stop it. And that's it's difficult. We're gonna lay some stone floor, I think. I really hate making 3 tile wide, but it looks better to have the floor completely encompassed, like to have a 3 tile wide, that way the middle tile is connected, if that makes sense. It just looks a little bit nicer. I don't know. 3 tile wide, I don't know. We'll cancel these. That'll give them something to do. It'll eat up our bricks, and we can unsuspend this. So, I mean, they have a lot of flooring and smoothing and stuff to do. This, I think, will just keep them from tracking tons of dirt everywhere, I think, is what the flooring will really do for us. No, not there. I mean, I guess we could put it there as well. But this will keep everybody nice and busy doing lots of stuff, and it should help with the tracking of dirt, I would think, from these areas. I don't actually know how that works, but we get a lot of mud in the doorway areas, and if they're walking on tile the whole way, presumably they would not track dirt in there. Got a raid. Bertha's Coyotes, a group of pirates, so they will have firearms. Never mind, they all appear to have swords and knives. Is a little concerning if they have those shield belts, because there are belts in the game that prevent bullets from hitting you, but they let melee go. So if we encounter a group with those belts, we are screwed. The only way to really counter that is to burn through the shield, either using EMP grenades or by shooting them a lot, I think does it. So yeah, it's hard for me not to blame my mother for things that happen to me. She and I talk occasionally. I see her usually once or twice a year. And like last time I saw her, I think was around my birthday. She took us out to eat for my brother and my birthday. And that was okay. I don't mind being around her as much. I don't hate her. When I was a teenager, I hated her. Just because of all the stuff I'd been through. It made me very, very angry at the world. Angry at my mother for putting me in that circumstance, you know, being the adult and not taking care of her children. Made me very angry, very, very hurt. I was very bitter when I was a young man, very hurt. I do imagine we'll get into a shootout here. They're fleeing. Let's go murder them as they retreat. I don't know if Terrace is going to make it. Are you good? If you're good, we'll rescue you. I mean, it would be nice to get someone who's passionate about art. You're an optimist. You're too smart. Learning threshold. He learns so much faster. but he breaks faster. Also, mining. It would not hurt to have someone who's like really good at mining. Mining, crafting, art. You're pretty okay at everything. Why don't we? How dangerous? Whitlock, if you would kindly arrest Terrace, everyone else can go in there and murder the remainder. That would be fine. They broke my door. I mean, it was wood. And Gundozer, really good at melee, good at medical. I mean, we really don't need another person like you. And you're a night owl, so I don't know how valuable it would really have. I mean, you're just not anything I really want. Great memory means he declines in skill slower. Careful shooter, he shoots slower but more accurately. And he's incapable of firefighting. What a weird thing to be incapable of. I think we will also capture that individual, but we will release that one. And we will unforbid the swords. A gladius, I believe is a Roman sword. And he had Psychite T on him. Can't we burn drugs? Can we burn drugs in this? Smelt, destroy weapon? No, we would need the incinerator thing, which would allow us to dispose of corpses more easily than the graves, which are now full. Why don't we build an incinerator? Production. Do we not have... Is that a research item? Electric crematorium. Granite blocks. Can we make it from not granite? Yes. Slate. 20 steel. We can put this outside because I don't think that this is something we'll ever need indoors. Everyone's going to bed, so unfortunately, yes. Okay, I was going to say, Whitlock, you'll have to tend to these individuals. Quickly tend... Okay, Kimmy already is. I was going to say he was drafted, so we lost the ability to take care of that. Medical emergency, yeah, you guys are going to be fine. And then we're going to set Terrace. How are you doing? You're alive. Mind-shattering pain? Yeah, well, you've been repeatedly stabbed. How'd you get stabbed? We shot you a bunch. How did you end up being stabbed? Stabbed by bullets, I guess. Go ahead and we'll mark him as lower resistance, and we'll mark Gundozer as... We'll leave him alone, and then we'll release him later. Yeah, so I was mad at my mom for a long time. Things are better now. She's still not someone I would probably spend my time with if we weren't related, but I don't think of her the way I used to think of her, which was all angry and just really sad and hateful about my life. Man, you were very close to death when we brought you in. So yeah, I mean, things are better than they used to be. I'm trying to make more of an effort with family because I've never really made the effort there. Make medicine. So we can't make Nutramine. We have to buy it. Gundozer is now capable of walking, which is fine. So can we not manufacture Nutramine at all? High-tech research, man. Simple biofuel. Wooden drug lab. We already built that. Biofuel, maybe. I don't think you can craft it. Unhappy nudity. Vaughn, why are you naked? I guess we didn't have replacement clothes. He has no pants on. Vaughn, you can't be pantsless in the cold. I guess because we sold and those were low quality. Okay, I mean, we'll throw up some more. I mean, we haven't done this in a while. Why don't we make a parka, a toque, a t-shirt. We'll make 2 t-shirts, 2 pants. I think we still have a lot of cowboy hats. We do not. We must have sold everything. We'll go ahead and throw some of that stuff together. Let's forbid cloth, actually. Can we have to do it one at a time. No cloth, please. Just because cloth is not going to have the warmth and whatnot that everything else is going to have. So we kind of want them to work with the wool and leather more than anything else. I imagine a lot of this will end up being made of buffalo wool, just because it's probably like the best thing that we have, quality warmth-wise. So we'll get doing that. We'll actually temporarily stop this. I think we have enough bricks to do all the flooring, so we'll set that up. Why don't we get her hunting? Go kill some alpaca. Do not kill the lynx. Fight the turkey. The hare's not even really worth it. We'll kill the boomalope. Who cares? They're going to explode. It's not a big deal. Everything on the exterior is now stone anyway, so it's not like we're gonna die from that. Once we build this, we can burn drugs, I believe, which will prevent my people from trying to eat them, consume them. Let's get another question going since we're just watching. What do people do too much of today? Probably hating each other is my number one thing, whether it's politics or just general people on the internet. Seems like everywhere I look, people are calling each other terrible names, saying really horrendous things about each other. It's very upsetting because I was raised, I guess I wasn't raised to be much of a human being, but I personally am a human being, and I don't think it's right to talk the way we do to each other. Like the Democrats hate the Republicans, so everything the Republicans do is wrong. And Republicans hate Democrats, so no matter what they do, like it could be a thing like, hey, we don't want people to murder babies anymore. And the Republicans would be like, man, I hate when people murder babies. And the Democrats would be like, yeah, I really hate those baby murderers. And then when they come together in a room, they're like, well, I can't agree with the other side because they're the other side. We're very antagonistic these days. And the internet is a great example of that, where you have people, like anytime, so I go online and I see people who call each other horrible names, say terrible things to each other, and people are always like, they're probably 13, don't even think about it, don't worry about it. And then they're not 13, they're like 40-year-old men who know better and think because it's the internet you can say whatever you want. It's just so disappointing how awful we are to each other. Negotiations, peace talks, I don't know how valuable this even is. How far away are you? That's pretty close. Right click, 1.26 days. Animals can graze, which is good. I didn't think they'd be able to graze. I'm not sure why they are able to when it's so cold. But it would let us restore some... It would probably reduce our raids. We don't have any food, though. Yeah, let's set up packaged meals. And we'll do this until we have, I don't know, 20, 30. It'll give Turtle a lot to do, and it will eat through some of our supplies. But I think we need that because the last couple times we've had pop-ups for these tasks, we've been unable to do it because we don't have any food. Man, you're still in terrible shape. I swear to God, I thought this said left labia, and I was like, wow, you stabbed that person in their vagina? Labia's not in the vagina, but you know what I'm saying. Plus it's a dude, so that would have been weird. My mistake. Can't read, don't judge me. So yeah, hating each other. Everyone hates each other. I don't get it. Like, there are people I don't like as well, but like some of the stuff I read about, people love to hate things. They hate games, they hate companies. We have a cancel culture where we just immediately hate everyone for everything they do. I think that we just have free time and we have anger and we don't know how to process it. So we end up just hating each other. And I don't think that it's good for you as a human being to be so full of hate. So let's pick a different question. If you didn't have to sleep, what would you do with the extra time? Inspired surgery from Kimmy. She will be extra good at surgery. Well, you're not our surgery person, so I don't know that that's really relevant. We're going to go ahead and release this dummy, Gundozer, because we don't want him to be part of the colony. We are going to keep Terrace, and the reason we're going to do that is because Terrace is good at crafting, which will help lighten Pixie's load as she's crafting things. She's good at art, or he is good at art, so we can get him sculpting, and because he has a passion, he will get very good at it, and because he can help out with mining, which is something we're doing kind of a lot of lately. And although we already have Meerkat who mines, we are still going to mine a lot more stuff, and so I think that it's a good call to have him doing that. So why is no one building this? Do we not have... We need slate blocks. Oh, because we used all of them for flooring. Yep. That checks out. And we're just leaving these corpses here, huh? Instead of doing that, you're eating our slate blocks to do that. Why don't we, if you could, Whitlock, come bury these corpses so they're not getting corpse debuffs. That would be great. We are running out of graves, which is why we want the incinerator, so we don't have to deal with graves anymore. Man, it's getting cold in here despite the heater. being set at 72 degrees. So what was my last question? What would you do if you didn't have to sleep? Probably the same things I do when I'm awake. So eat, watch movies, television, write, play video games, record for YouTube, work another job. I don't know. Same stuff I would do everywhere else probably. Kimmy, I don't care about your inspired surgery. Yeah, I don't know. Probably just would end up being bored more. Like, I like sleeping. Now that I'm properly medicated, I sleep pretty well. Most of the time, I sleep kind of a lot compared to a lot of people. Why is there 9 silver here? Did somebody pocket this and then leave it at the table? Minor break for Vaughn. Yeah, you are always not doing well. And it's because he has this injury, which we can't do anything about. I don't think you can do anything about old gunshots. And also because he is a transhumanist, so he has a fair number of negatives. Turtle, you're resting. Okay, you probably made a lot of survival meals today. Yeah. Gonna eat up our supplies, which is why we sent her out to do more hunting. Oh, we have a lot of bucks as well, so we'll go hunt the deer. Looks like we got a herd of deer come on the map, so we'll deal with that. Let's get another question. What's your favorite drink? Probably Mountain Dew, I guess. Mountain Dew, tea. I like pretty much every kind of tea on the planet. Every flavor of tea. Actually, that's not true. Oh no, it's in the other room. I bought some tea at Walmart a couple months ago because I was really in a tea phase where I was brewing tea every day, liters and liters of tea, for like once a week, just big batches of tea. And I went to Walmart and bought like expensive tea because I was like, I always buy the really cheap tea, which I like just fine, but I wanted to try like, what's high quality at Walmart? What do they consider expensive tea at Walmart? So I bought it. It was like $8 for like 12 tea bags, which is ludicrously expensive. And it's awful. It's so smelly. Like, it smells so perfumey that when you drink the tea, you taste the smell, and it smells like flowers, and it's just disgusting, and I hate it. And I only brewed a little bit of it and never went back. It's just too aromatic, and I could not stand it. So I'm definitely a tea drinker. I'm not a big fan of coffee. I know, in America, everybody loves their coffee, but definitely a tea guy. If I have to have a warm beverage, it would be tea. And I like green tea over black tea, although black tea stands up better when you overbrew it. So it really just depends on what I want. Oolong is, it depends on my mood. Depends what I'm feeling like. But most of the time I like plain tea, maybe a little peppermint or chocolate tea, but not really anything truly exceptional. So we're still neutral with these guys, but we're at plus 10 because we gave them a gift. We can't actually, this is something else I don't like about the game, we can't actually interact with people without the question mark. So unless they have something to trade, we can't just give them a gift, because we're kind of in a position where we can afford to give gifts. It would lower the wealth of our colony a little bit, which would help. But we can't do that because none of them are here to trade. So unfortunately, they're just going to hang around. They'll probably come in and eat at our table, things like that, and then be about their business. So we have a sculpture. He never did finish another sculpture. I'm guessing he's constructing a lot. Yeah, here. Hello, Meerkat. Thank you for getting the incinerator up and running. Inspired trade for Meerkat. We're never going to use you for trade. Definitely not going to use you for trade. Fester is pregnant. Okay, I mean, Fester is more of a guy name. I maybe should have thought that through. Uncle Fester. Cremate corpse forever. We're going to do that all the time. And we're going to burn drugs forever. Because we do not want drugs in our colony. So, we will unforbid this. And we will set up, I don't know. Well, she's asleep. Let's grab someone real quick who can do this. Who does... Nobody. Nobody else crafts. I think Kimmy is set up to craft. Never do hauling. It's hauling, apparently. Cremating at Slate. I don't know what you're going to cremate. The drugs. Excellent. That's exactly what I wanted. Why would you only pick up like a third of them? There weren't that many of them. Do you have to do them one at a time? That's so weird. Okay, well, they're leaving. That's fine. They didn't leave us a gift or anything, which is also fine. And, we never built the hospital beds because we did not have steel, I believe, at the time. Or components or something. So let's go ahead and build steel hospital beds. Can we make that Only out of metal. Okay, steel it is. So we're going to go ahead and turn these around. I don't think it matters if they're next to each other. Let's not build it there, because we don't want to deconstruct the zone there. So turn those around. Once those get built, we'll deconstruct this and we'll put a television in here so they can watch TV while they're sick, which is great. And we have plenty of armchairs. We could build an additional armchair, just because I know they are comfortable and people probably like having proper armchairs. We'll make it out of, I mean, we have cloth that we're not using, so we'll plop that right in front, a little bit closer. But I don't know if it would block their view or not, so I didn't want to build it in front. That is a very loud vehicle. People love to tear up and down my road. People run, there's a stop sign right outside of my house. They run that on a daily basis. It's super irritating because there's a lot of kids in this town. And yeah, I hate the idea of someone getting hit by, or my dogs, or somebody getting hit by a car. And admittedly, my dogs would never really be out there without a leash. Although sometimes my family, like when a family member gets home, they'll encourage them to go outside without a leash just to the vehicle. And I hate that because I worry so much that our dogs will get hit. And if my dog got hit by a car, I would lose my mind. I'd probably beat... I'm not a violent guy anymore. Let's not talk about that. It would make me angry and I would have a not great response with the doctor. Or, yeah, doctor. I was looking at the bed and it messed me up. At the driver. I would not have a good reaction to the driver who hit my dog. And yeah, I would lose my mind a little bit and maybe get a little violent, which I try not to be violent anymore. So, oh, best not to think about it. Ricardo is pregnant. Hooray! Are these? What about the dogs? They must both be the same gender. They're both females. So unless we get, I don't know, what was that in Jurassic Park? Something zine, lycogen. I don't know, something that they didn't have in Jurassic Park, and then they ended up swapping genders. I don't think that will happen with the Huskies, but you never know. You never know. Life finds a way. So 27 minutes. I really should work to make these episodes a little bit shorter, just because I'm having a lot of problems with my internet connection and trying to upload these videos. I'm currently having to compress, sorry, my brain. I'm looking at things on screen and it's affecting what I'm saying out loud. I'm having to compress my videos before I upload them because I'm having so many internet problems. We could continue hunting everything to extinction. Muffalo look delicious. We can feed Muffalo to our Muffalo. Sounds like a lot of fun and also horrifying. Yeah, not getting as much done with the smoothing as I expected. Transport pod. Lewis is crashing nearby. If he survives, he will be badly injured. Lewis is not affiliated with any faction. Okay, so we will check him out. Oh, you're a nudist? I mean, and you're incapable of dumb labor. So we don't want him. What we can do is capture him and then release him, I believe. Otherwise, we're just going to let him die. Are you going to die? Death in 3 hours? We may not even be able to save him. We're going to let him die, which is a horrible thing to do, but I think by the time we got out there, he'd be dead anyway. Got out there and brought him back, I think he'd be dead. And we would just capture him, and then if we captured him, I don't know if we could release him because he's not attached to a faction. I don't really know how that works. So probably a little cruel. Maybe should have gone and saved him. I kind of regret it now, but that's where we're at. So 250 watts. This uses way less than the smelter, which is interesting. Anyway, I think we're going to call the episode here. So for now, thanks for watching. Hope you're enjoying the episodes. I really love RimWorld. I'm recording a huge backlog of episodes because I enjoy playing it just that much. So yeah, I'll be back with more in the near future, and I'll see you next time.